If we observe the Buddhist disciples in the world, be they monks, nuns, or lay Buddhists, why can't their accomplishments be compared with the previous generation? In the previous generation, there were many highly respected monks, and among the lay Buddhists, many were very outstanding too. But we can't find any in our generation. What's the reason? We have to identify the root cause in order to have an appropriate solution. Having searched for many decades, I finally understood the cause of the problem. The root cause is the absence of traditional Chinese education since young. Traditional Chinese education is the education on ethics, morality, and causality. For many generations since the ancient times, the Chinese learned these teachings from their childhood. Our childhood days weren't so fortunate. Even though we were unfortunate, we were considered lucky to be born and raised in an agricultural village. "20 years before the formation of the Republic of China, traditional thinking was still very strong in agricultural villages. When we were young, we studied at a private school, 私塾, that provided the foundational education on ethics, morality, and causality. After I turned 8 years old, the national education was reformed and private schools no longer existed. They became short-term schools. The new textbooks contain things like, the puppy is barking, the kitten is jumping. They taught such things. This is very problematic. We were lucky to be exposed to the foundation of traditional Chinese culture. My brother, who was 6 years younger than me, no longer received this kind of education. Thus, he completely has no knowledge of it at all. So, we have lost the basic education or foundational education of traditional Chinese culture for at least 4 generations. Modern people don't have this knowledge. Neither do their parents, nor grandparents. Perhaps their great-grandparents over the age of 100 would have this knowledge. We were fortunate to be born in an agricultural village. If we were to be born in a city, I wouldn't have this knowledge, because urbanization in the city was rapid. Being exposed to the basics of traditional Chinese culture, we were able to understand what the outcome would be. In situations whereby students directly attend primary school without proper preschool education, they can't learn well even if they keep studying all their lives. They just don't have the foundation. The same applies to learning in Buddhism Thus, in the past years, we particularly emphasized foundational education and the need to catch up on the three foundations of education, namely Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. The foundation of Confucianism is 弟子规, Guide to a Happy Life. The foundation of Taoism is 太上感应篇, Treatise on Response and Retribution. And the foundation of Buddhism is 十善业道经, the 10 Virtuous Karmas Sutra. Without such foundational education, it's definitely impossible to learn Buddhist sutras. Even if we're committed and make concerted efforts to learn, we'll only gain superficial knowledge. What's the terminology that's used nowadays? Buddhist studies. You aren't learning and practicing Buddhism, so you won't be able to reap the true benefits of Buddhism and experience them. Why is it so? To understand Buddhism, we need a pure mind. Without a pure mind, we can't experience what the teaching is all about. Thus, it means that we need to enter into a state of meditative concentration to understand it. Without this, we won't be able to understand and experience it. To have a calm mind, we must firmly let go of our selfishness, cravings for fame and wealth, 5 desires and 6 dusts, greed, hatred, and delusion. Only then could we enter into a preliminary state of meditative concentration. If we're still strongly attached to all these, then we won't be able to achieve meditative concentration. Hence, our learning of the Buddhist sutras will be superficial and literal. The opening verse of the Buddhist sutras, which states that we should aspire to comprehend the true meaning of the Buddhist teachings, can't be attained. Instead, we'll easily misinterpret and misunderstand the true teachings of the Buddha. We would mistake our own understanding as the Buddha's message. This is completely wrong. Hence, if we really want to learn Buddhism, become true disciples of the Buddha, and aspire to have some achievement in our lifetime, then we won't be able to succeed without rebuilding the 3 foundations. We must put in extra effort to seriously learn the 3 foundations of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. They're more important than anything else.